Hello, Trig classes. We're going to do one of these lengthy problems here in section 5.1, the sum and difference formulas. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some information about an alpha angle and a beta angle. So let's see if we can set up our two triangles and then we'll find our sums. Sine alpha plus beta will be the first thing that we'll find. So first off, sine of alpha is -3/5. We're in quadrant 4, so I'm kind of drawing a little quadrant 4 point and drawing my triangle. Sine is opposite, -3 over the hypotenuse 5. So there's alpha. We can find the missing side in alpha, right, by using the Pythagorean theorem. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's find this missing side. So I'll say x squared plus y squared, right, equals my hypotenuse squared, which is going to give me 25 minus, this will be a 9. So x squared is 16, x will be a 4. And since we're in quadrant 4, that x part should be positive. So there is my missing side. Let's do the same thing for beta. Alright, here's beta. The sine of beta is -4/11. So again, beta's in quadrant 3, so I put a point in quadrant 3, and here's my little right triangle in quadrant 3. Sine is opposite, which will be -4 over hypotenuse 11. And so there's my triangle for beta. Let's see if we can find the missing side for triangle beta. Again, x squared, using the Pythagorean theorem, plus y squared equals hypotenuse squared. Alright, let's see what we've got here. 11 squared is 121. We're going to subtract -4 squared is 16, so subtract that 16. And that will give you 105. We have to take the square root. Alright, so it's 105. Now it is in quadrant 3, so I will use the negative because x is negative in quadrant 3. Negative root 105. Alright, so there's our two triangles set up. And now we should be able to find anything that we need from them. The first thing I'm going to find is the sine of alpha plus beta. Okay. Sine of alpha plus beta. And I can write down my formula here. I'm just going to put it kind of underneath it. We've got the sine of alpha cosine beta plus cosine of alpha sine of beta. Remember, you don't have to memorize any of these formulas. You will be given the formulas and you're just going to pop them in. So let's see if we can plug in our numbers. The sine of alpha, look at alpha. The sine is -3/5. Times the cosine of beta. Look at beta. The cosine of beta is -√105. That's the adjacent over the hypotenuse 11. Then we have plus cosine of alpha, so we'll go back to alpha. The cosine is 4/5, adjacent over hypotenuse, times the sine of beta. The sine of beta is opposite, which is -4, over the hypotenuse, which was 11. And then multiply it up. That's going to be actually a positive 3√105 in the numerator. 55 is in both denominators, you see. 4 times -4 is a -16, so that'll actually be a minus. And again, they're both over 5 times 11, which is 65. And there you go, sine of alpha plus beta. Let's take a look at our next problem. We'll find the cosine of alpha plus beta. Will be our next problem. So look up your formula for the cosine of alpha plus beta. I'll write it down. It's cosine alpha, cosine beta, minus sine alpha, sine beta. And now we'll just plug it in by looking at our triangles and using SOHCAHTOA. Okay, cosine of alpha, go to alpha. That's going to be adjacent 4 over the hypotenuse 5. Cosine of beta is going to be negative root 105 over my hypotenuse 11. Then I have a minus. Sine of alpha, let's see, is going to be a negative 3 over 5. The sine of beta, opposite is negative 4 over that negative, over positive 11, the hypotenuse. And let's see what we've got. Both of these are going to be over 5 times 11. Again, both of them are over 65. So I've got a negative 4 root 105. Let's see what we have here. A negative times a negative here is positive, but this is still a minus in between. So minus 12 all over 5 times 11, which is 55. 55 for my denominator. So there's the cosine of alpha plus beta. Okay, our last one's the big one. Tangent of alpha plus beta. Let's see if we can find that. So our last part, tangent of alpha plus beta. Let's look at our formula first. And our formula for the tangent, scoot it over a little bit. Is going to be tangent alpha plus tangent beta all over 1 minus tangent alpha times tangent beta. Alright, let's see if we can start plugging things in. First off, the tangent of alpha. Remember, tangent is just opposite over adjacent. So look at alpha. Opposite is negative 3, adjacent is 4. So that's going to be a negative 3 over 4. Plus tangent of beta. Here's beta is opposite, which is going to be negative 4 over the negative root 105 all over 1 minus tangent of alpha. We already found that. That was negative 3/4 times tangent of beta, which we already found was negative 4 over the negative root 105. Okay. Now it's just a matter of, can we simplify a little bit here? First off here, negative over negative is just positive, right? So this is going to be 4 over root 105. I can go ahead and make that a positive. Same thing down here in the denominator. This is just positive because it's negative over negative. And now I should be able to do a little bit of work. When I put it together, I've got negative 3 over 4 plus 4 over root 105 over 1. And minus a negative is going to actually be a plus, a positive. If I want here, I can cross cancel these 4's, right? 4 cancels into 4. And that'll give me a plus 3 over the root 105. And this is where I think some of you are getting a little stuck. At this point, what I want to do is rationalize, well, I need to get this radical, this 105, radical, clear that fraction out. So what I'm going to do is multiply everything in the numerator and everything in the denominator by the square root of 105. Everything. So when I do that, I'm going to get a negative 3 root 105. Still got it over 4. This one is going to clear that out. That'll be plus a 4, because I'm just multiplying by the square root of 105, which will cancel that away. And in the denominator, multiplying by root 105, again, if I multiply root 105 here, it's going to cancel that out and just leave me a 3. Okay, so far I'm doing pretty well. The other thing I'm going to do is, let's clear this fraction out too. I'm going to multiply 4 to everything in the numerator and in the denominator, and that'll give us our answer. I'm multiplying everything by 4 to get rid of this denominator. So when I multiply this one by 4, the 4 will cancel, which will leave me negative 3 root 105. Multiply 4 by 4, that's a plus 16. Multiply 4 here, that's 4 root 105. And multiply 4 to the 3, that's a 12. I just multiplied every term by 4. This is good for me, and it's really good for all the trig teachers, that teaching at Delgado. This is fine. No need to rationalize the denominator. Don't worry about the homework when it asks you to do that. I'm going to curve that up a little bit. This is perfect. If you get to this point, no need to rationalize because it's 2 terms. So we're good to go.